Does Universal Studios and Disney theme parks have a single rider line problem? I seriously think that they do. It's kind of a tale as old as time, or at least as old as single rider lines have existed. But lately, it just feels like it's gotten a lot worse. Before I dive into this video, I do want to say that I won't be using any Disney examples in this video today because I really don't have a lot of experience in the Disney single rider lines. However, from what I've read online, it pretty much seems like Disney has the same problem as Universal. But okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's really start to dive into this. During my last Orlando trip, I spent a few days at all three Universal theme parks completely solo. So naturally, I was trying to use the single rider line as much as possible. But more times than not, I kept running into problems with them. Let me be clear here. I've used the single rider line plenty of times with my friends too. So I've done it the true solo way, and I've also done it with my friends where we don't mind being split up when we get to the end of the line. So I'm coming at this from both sides. Anyways, after this most recent trip that I just got back from, I saw way too many examples of the system just not working the way that it was intended to. And I'll get into specific examples in just a minute. But first, let's reset and talk about the main purpose of a single rider line. At Universal and Disney theme parks, many attractions have a separate single rider line designed for solo guests or small groups who really don't care about sitting together once they get on the ride. The idea is simple. When there's an empty seat in a ride vehicle, a team member can pull someone from the single rider line and quickly fill that gap. It keeps dispatches efficient where every seat gets filled and operations move much smoother. That's how it's supposed to work. The problem is, it's not working lately. More and more larger groups have now started to fill up that single rider line and use it as a hack. And again, I'm not pretending that I've never done this myself because I have. This isn't about blaming anyone. This is strictly about logistics. The single rider line used to be kind of an under-the-radar efficiency tool, but now it's just a well-known and overplayed strategy. A lot of social media influencers have pushed the idea that the single rider line is the way to go, even if you're with a large group. So now we're at the point where on some rides, the single rider line is at a minimum half the size of standby, sometimes even more than the standby line. Over the last year, I've seen a lot of people say that they've actually waited longer in the single rider line than what the posted standby time was. At that point, what are we even doing? It defeats the purpose of the line entirely. If everyone is just trying to use that single rider line as a shortcut, well then it's not a shortcut anymore. So what exactly is the issue? Where is the source of the problem here? It's not like people are technically breaking rules when they enter the single rider line with a group. The problem is what happens once certain people get to the loading platform. During my last trip, I witnessed multiple situations where guests clearly took advantage of how nice and frankly, how patient some team members are. One example was on Revenge of the Mummy. In the single rider line, I watched a mother and her young daughter walk up to a team member who was assigning the seats. The mom just casually held up two fingers and said, "There's two of us." The team member looked at the daughter. She couldn't have been older than 8 years old or something like that. And she said, "This is a single rider line." And the mom responded, "Yes, but I need to sit with my daughter." Now put yourself in that team member's position. Are you really going to tell a little kid to go sit next to a stranger? Or are you just going to let one slide? Well, she ended up letting it slide. But here's the thing. I saw variations of that scenario multiple times that week on different rides and in different parks. Letting one slide turns into letting everyone slide. And that's the big problem. To give you another example, on Stardust Racers, I saw a similar situation. This time, the team member tried to stand her ground and stick to the rules, but the dad was refusing to budge. They went back and forth for a few moments until the daughter actually started crying. Then the dad started shouting at the team member. It escalated very fast. Suddenly, everyone in the loading area was staring, and dispatches were now completely delayed. Eventually, the team member did give in and rearranged another party to squeeze the dad and daughter together along with other members of their family. From what I could tell, it looked like a family of 7 or 8. Most of them didn't care about being split up, but one child did. And realistically, was that family going to split into different lines and end up on a completely different ride schedule? Probably not. So instead, they worked the system. And maybe I'm wrong here, but it honestly didn't feel like this was the first time that they did something like this. To me, it felt like this was rehearsed. Another thing I see constantly in single rider lines is people playing dumb. They'll say stuff like, "Oh, I didn't realize this was a single rider line." Or, "No one told us. We just waited an hour and a half for nothing. Now we have to get out of line and get in the real standby line and wait another hour and a half." Meanwhile, there are signs posted at the front of the ride entrances, and team members are there telling you as you walk in that you will be split up. It's not subtle, they are just playing dumb. These are just a few examples. This goes way deeper than what I personally have witnessed. If you search around online, you'll find countless stories of people going to very low lengths to hack the system. At a certain point, it stops being an efficiency tool and it starts becoming a negotiation zone at the loading platform. Now, before I talk about whether Universal is starting to notice this, and before I throw out some ideas for what the future of the single rider line can look like, I just want to say something really quickly here. If you ever witness people abusing a line system, don't let it ruin your day. Don't call the group out, because most of the time, these people doing this are fully prepared to defend themselves. In their mind, they have every excuse ready to go. And it's just not worth getting into a shouting match, or worse. We've all seen the viral videos of things escalating in theme park lines. That's not the energy you want on your vacation. And trying to argue with a team member in the moment usually doesn't accomplish anything either. Those team members are juggling dispatches, safety checks, and crowd control. They don't have the time or even the authority to solve the issue right there on the spot for you. If you really feel compelled to say something, the right move is to go to guest services or wait until after your trip and send them an email. But in the moment, protect your peace. It's not worth ruining your day. Now, I do think Universal is starting to notice this issue. I've done 3 separate week-long trips this past year, and every single time I've noticed single rider lines are getting closed more often throughout the day. Sometimes they never even open at all. But a few years ago, I don't remember that happening nearly as much. Single rider felt consistently available and way less backed up back then. But now, if the line gets too long or if the standby gets slammed, they'll just close the single rider line entirely. And of course, Universal recently removed the single rider line from Velocicoaster altogether. And I really don't want to see that become the solution across the board. Just eliminating it? Nah. That feels like giving up on the concept instead of fixing it. I think that Universal and all of these other theme parks can do much better. So I've been thinking about possible solutions, and I would really love to know what you guys think of them. Okay, so here is the first idea for a solution, and it is the very drastic option. It's very extreme, and I'm not even sure I like this one. But what if Universal actually verified single riders? You would scan your ticket at the front of the line to confirm that you're not really a part of a larger group. Or maybe when you enter the park solo, you get some kind of digital or physical single rider badge for the day. Now, let me just say this clearly. I don't love this idea. It feels weird and way too controlling, and I don't know, I just get an icky feeling from it. But if you're someone who goes to theme parks solo or you get on a lot of rides solo, this would massively benefit you. Single rider wait times would drop dramatically. The awkward boarding standoffs would disappear, and the pressure of team members would go way down. At the same time, though, I use single rider lines with a friend or two, and we really don't care about sitting together once we get on the ride. So why should smaller groups who are playing by the spirit of the rules get punished too? That wouldn't be fair, and that's why I really don't think that this solution is the right one. Let's go to the second solution idea that I have, and this is limiting group sizes. What if only small groups, let's say 3 or 4 people max, were allowed into the single rider line? You could still verify it with a ticket scan or some sort of badge. You and your friend who don't care about being split up, cool, go ahead. A family of 8? Sorry, you're rolling way too deep. You gotta go. Jump in the standby line. And if you're not happy with that, if you don't feel like waiting, then go grab a express pass because, like I said, you're rolling way too deep to be in the single rider line. This would keep the single rider lines as an operational tool instead of turning it into a secondary standby line. And I'm sorry if I come across a little cruel here or a little uptight, I don't know, whatever, however you want to word this, but I'm not trying to come across that way. I'm really just looking at this from an operational standpoint. And trust me, I get it. I know express passes cost a lot of money, especially when you're rolling deep with a big family, but at some point, something needs to give. So here's the third solution idea that I have, and it's eliminating the single rider line completely. This is basically what Universal has already started doing in some cases, and I do believe that Disney has started to do this too, but I'm going to have to rely on some of you guys in the comments section to confirm that for me. So yeah, everyone would be in one standby line, whether you're solo or you're with 10 people. There would be no negotiating at the load-in zone, no arguments, no gray area, no chance to play dumb. But here's the trade-off. You now have way more empty seats, and on rides like Hagrid's and Stardust Racers, where demand is insane, filling every seat matters. Yes, team members can look for single riders in the main line near boarding. You've probably seen that done before where, they call out for single riders and then everyone steps to the side and then that single rider moves up. It works, but it takes a lot of time. It's reactive instead of streamlined. So that brings me to my fourth solution idea, and it is one that I am leaning towards. What if there was no dedicated single rider line at the entrance, but instead a split off point near the end of the standby line, maybe 30 to 50 people before boarding? So if you're a true solo rider, you peel off into a short holding area. That way, the ride can still quickly fill empty seats, but you're not building this massive secondary queue that becomes its own problem. Is it perfect? Maybe not, but it does sound better than completely killing the single rider line. At least it keeps the spirit of the system alive without letting it spiral out of control like it currently is. I'm really torn on this whole thing, and that's why I wanted to make a video about this and get the conversation going. I would love to know what you guys think is the right move. And don't just come at this from like a personal standpoint, but come at it from like a ride operation standpoint too. If you were the one in charge and you were the one running these attractions, what would you do? Is the single rider line fixable, or has it just outgrown its purpose? And if you have a creative solution that I didn't mention, I would love to hear that as well. I might even do a follow-up video reading through your comments and breaking down the best takes. But anyways, thank you for watching until the very end. I appreciate you all. Make sure you like and subscribe for more videos. I'll be doing more thought pieces like this. I'll be doing more history videos and video essays. And I've also been dabbling with some park vlogs too. So like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. Take care and peace out.